sometimes you just feel that burnout. What's your experience of it, and how do you then kind of get past it?
Well, the simple answer is going back to the first question you asked me, which is that acceptance and general goodwill, kindness towards yourself. Like, okay, it doesn't, because you love, I get this with students as well. They get often quite overwhelmed, at the end of the terms and stuff with all their performances coming up. And it's because there's so much guitar playing. It's so intensive, it's constant, and your whole world is just guitar. And it's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a week off if you can. Nothing's going to go away. I mean, technique might, become a bit rusty maybe, but I doubt it. It's not going to change your world. Actually, it's going to give you some perspective. And actually, having a break is actually something you do because you love it, not because you're weak. I think some people see burnout or taking a break as even though the conversation is a bit more liberal nowadays, I do think still people have this kind of machoistic view of like, okay, I've got to push and graft, and if I burn out and stop, that means I'm weak. And it's like, well, it's weakness to kind of actually just go through it because you're insecure. Real strength is actually kind of the resilience of keeping the long game in mind. If you want to play music for life, you've got to take these breaks. I'm saying you, so I'm the metaphorical us, here. My experience of burnout has been because I've been playing since I was 6, and I've been told that I was very good, all of my life. I'm very lucky that I don't think I'm very good, but I'm saying I've had encouragement from people saying, that sounds great. You're the guitar player. People tell you who you are. People say you're the guitar player. You're the metal guy. I did a lot of 8-string. I still do a lot of 8-string guitar. I love it. But I did a lot of 8-string guitar many years ago. People were like, "You're the 8-string guitar player." As soon as you do anything else, they, Instagram trolls and stuff. You get lots of nasty comments, and then it sort of reinforces this thing of who we think we are is actually based upon what we think other people think we are. Ultimately, so there's this kind of guilt and lack of identity. If I don't play guitar, then I'm not valid. I remember going on a family holiday to Thailand. It was like a big special trip with all the family, really special trip. And I took a guitar with me, and I made sure I practiced for a couple of hours every day. And we're going over on this boat to this island, and I disassembled my guitar into this suitcase, and it was about to fall off the edge of the boat because it was quite choppy, and I was viscerally angry and upset that I might lose my guitar, but that I might not be able to practice. If that goes, what am I going to do? I completely missed the time with my friends and family, the time in Thailand, because I was so obsessed. And this is such a trivial thing, but I think we all do this. We miss out on the actuality of life and the quality of life. So it's dangerous. So I got to the point where I was so obsessed, and selfish and egotistical, even though I didn't think I was being egotistical. I was kind of imparting my suffering on other people, that I wasn't good enough at guitar and all this stuff. And I was screaming. I was doing these long drives to gigs, and I was screaming at myself in the car. I was kind of going off in my own way. And a lot of people have worse things happen, of course, but I got myself in quite a bad hole with it. And it was affecting my relationships. I could see that it was affecting my self-view. It was affecting my relationship with this guitar, this thing I've had since I was 6, which is a lovely thing to have in my life. It became this horrible kind of scary thing. So then a few of my friends kind of could see that I was being my own worst enemy, and they suggested I go and get some counselling. So I went to do that. And one thing I'm quite vocal about is that no matter how you feel, I heard Jack Gardner talking about his experience with going to CBT and things like that. And it's there's a kind of guilt, like I shouldn't go to therapy, nothing that traumatic's happened, But I think everyone should try it because it's you learn about yourself. There's one thing you should learn, all these shoulds and shouldn'ts of learning guitar. You should learn about your mind. It is because that is where everything happens. Everything happens there. Your perception, you see, your only perception of the world happens right here. Your thoughts and your ability to see and not control your thoughts, because you can't control your thoughts, but the ability to kind of understand yourself is a superpower. And obviously, again, it's a journey. But I'd say I've come to this view of acceptance and kindness through counselling, through my own exploration. I've done this for, when I was quite young, I did kung fu for a couple of years, and a lot of mindset stuff came through there. And they taught us how to meditate that way. And I kind of left it, and then I came back to that in quite a major way through people like Sam Harris, who does a lot of talking on meditation and science. And, all this stuff people call woo-woo, is actually, there's a lot in it that is very useful. And I often find it's the most rational, skeptical people who often probably need a bit of woo-woo in their lives just to kind of balance it out, because a lot of the suffering comes from, this kind of like tense mindset of I should be this way, it has to be this way, it has to be hard facts, it has to be kind of right here in front of me. But it's actually, can you just let go of all that for a moment? Stop becoming and just like be, like you're alive. Guitar is just an invention of the human mind. Like there's no, it's, you're not a heart surgeon, it's not life and death. So taking a break is so important. And I'm happy to unpack any of those subjects I'm going over now, but that's where I've come at, with this. It's okay to take a break when you're feeling the burnout. Stop. Like, look after guitar, look after your desire to play guitar, look after the people around you. Life is also the inspiration for making music. Your appreciation of what's around you, what your interests other than music are going to inspire your music. So sometimes taking a break is actually the best thing you can do.